spot. Halotti's still day-to-day, questionable, progressing well, and we'll see where he's at after today's practice. Nothing? Absolutely nothing.
I was going to follow up on that. With Trayvon, we spoke to Chris Wilson yesterday, but if Halotti's not taking his full allotment of snaps, is Hester at the point where he can take the number 2 defensive tackle snaps?
Yeah, I do believe that. He's practiced well. He's shown, even where he came from, that he can obviously play the position, and the more reps he gets, obviously he can handle the workload. So yeah, he's definitely going to be, asked to do a little bit more this week. What else? You said you had more.
I do, but I'll let the others go first.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
What's the update on Holland and Mike Wallace? Do you expect them?
Both those guys are doing well. We're not at that point yet with them, but they're progressing nicely through their rehabs, and once we cross that bridge, down the road, I'll be able to give you more information. But they're both doing well with their rehab.
Do you think Darren Sproles might be able to practice next week, or do you have a?
We're optimistic. Again, I don't want to push him. With the injury that he's had to his lower body, obviously being a runner and a sprinter, we just want to make sure he's good. But optimism is high, and hopefully he can get out there next week.
Is Rasul back?
He is back.
Okay.
He is back. Yeah, personal issue.
He's all good to go.
Yes.
Yeah. When you prepare for games, and do you also each week just take a quick look at the referee and how his crew calls things, and do you alert guys to that? Or
I do. I do. I think it's important to know who our crew is, the types of fouls and penalties that they've called in games, and they do a scouting report on us just like we do them. So yeah, it's good to kind of give the guys a little insight to who the crew is.
do you think that makes a difference? Has that made a difference? Yeah.
No, I don't think so. If anything, it brings a little awareness to things, but other than that, I just think it's just more just their knowledge, just having it. Basically, that's about it.
Since you got here, when you win coin tosses, you've deferred. Is that something you picked up in your coaching days from before, and why do you do that?
I think it's more about the number of touches, possessions the offense can get. When you study it and look at it, if I can gain one more possession in the first half, like we did, last week, we actually got 2, but to get one, kick a field goal, and then come out the second half, get the ball, and go down, score. I mean, that's kind of the object. That's what you're trying to do. So, if you can give your offense another touch or 2, especially at the end of the half, it's what we want.
Do you expect to have both Jason Peters and Lane Johnson on Sunday? Like, how are they both progressing?
I expect both of them, yes, and progressing well.
Thank you.
Doug, how disruptive is Luke Kuechly, and what makes him so good?
Great question, Dave. Carolina, are we playing them this week? Okay. He's very smart. Smart guy. He's going to study our offense. He's going to know every little intricacy. He's going to know every call that Kelsey makes during the game. He's going to study that. He's going to go to the sideline, make adjustments like he did last year in the game. And he flies around. He's a high-energy guy, great tackler in space, good player, great player for them, leader, obviously, and very disruptive. So we got to know exactly where he's going to be and how to sort of isolate him as much as we can.
As much as any other defensive player in the league, somebody that you have to account for in a defense?
Yeah, for sure. Anybody in the league. I mean, that's, especially at that linebacker position, who they're standing right at the line. They're hearing all the calls, and they can make their adjustments in game as well. So, yeah, it's one of the top players we're going to see. Sean Lee is very similar to that in Dallas, and guys are tough to defend.
Kelsey's played against Kuechly a bunch, and he was saying it's always kind of a chess match, back and forth. Just with Jason's preparation this week, or overall, what do you see from him that makes him so good at kind of being able to play that?
I think you get really 2 smart guys going against each other, and one's trying to outwit the other. Kelsey's very good at just kind of staying within the scheme and and then also making his in-game adjustments, on the sideline with Coach Stout. And you go back and watch that game last year, and some of the things we discussed on the side. It's a chess match. It's just putting our pieces in a position to outsmart them, but then they outsmarted us on a series, so we got to make adjustments, and it goes back and forth, and that's the challenge that we have this week.
In the backfield, you've kind of always been a committee guy since you've been here. As an offensive guy, you see Christian, somebody like that who can do everything. What kind of difficulty does that pose for the other side?
Well, he's definitely an explosive player. Pound for pound, tough kid, and you see him run between the tackles. You see him run off tackle. You see him line up in space. He's running routes. He's a misdirection guy. I mean, he's really everything that I think coming out of the draft. If we were fortunate enough, to get him the way we would use him, and doesn't come off the field, and great athlete. Again, a player that we have to account for, know where he lines up. And you got to tackle him. You got to get him on the ground. He can make the first guy miss and obviously stretch the field. And our work's cut out for us defensively to make sure that we tackle and get him on the ground.
It's been a year since Jordan Hicks' injury. It happened in Week 7 last year. In this past year, what have you seen from Jordan? Is he back to the player he was before the injury?
For sure. I've seen him work. I've seen him go through his rehab and get himself back in a position to help this football team back in a leadership role as that middle linebacker. And yeah, I feel like he's done a really good job. I feel like he is back, to his old self and making plays and just getting guys. One of his strengths is getting our defense lined up and getting the call out, and he does a great job of that. And it's good to have him back.
Doug, you've been willing to take Carson's input in terms of plays every now and then and what he likes in terms of game plan. Does that also apply to personnel sometimes with guys that he likes more than others?
It can apply. It can apply. If he has an idea there, a suggestion, moving guys around, putting Alshon in a spot or Ertz in a spot, Dallas in a spot, yeah, we definitely take that into consideration, and see if it can work on a particular play. Yeah.
He can't go, or if he's limited, and Trayvon has to do more. How much added pressure does that put on Fletch to even up his already high level of play even higher?
Yeah, I don't think Fletch has to do any more than what he's doing. Quite honestly, he's very disruptive. He's powerful, explosive off the line. He's pushing the pocket. He's around the quarterback quite a bit. I don't think he has to necessarily take more on. In fact, it'd be nice to be able to take less and take more off of him and keep him fresh and healthy as the season goes. But yeah, I don't think we have to put any more on him, or he has to feel any kind of added pressure because of Haloti or whoever, Tim Jernigan or whoever's not next to him.
Do the unique circumstances of next week's game change the early week schedule at all for you and the players?
No. Are you just referring to the travel? And no, we've got that all worked out and ironed out, so we're pretty normal from the week standpoint. Yeah. All right, guys. See you after the game.